Hello and welcome to my ADDIE presentation. Just a little bit about myself before I get started. I am a 9th grade algebra and geometry teacher at a school district in the neighboring area. I also wanted to mention with this presentation, once I go through the Prezi, I will then take you to my Edmodo class to show you all of the assignments, all of the materials that students will use. So let's go ahead and get started. This is for a series of lessons about solving quadratic equations. It is for, again, Algebra 1, and it involves about 8 48-minute class periods. The first stage is the analysis stage. The overall instructional goal of this unit is that students will be able to solve quadratic equations by graphing, factoring, and by using the quadratic formula. Here's a little visual of each one of these three methods. We have graphing on the left, factoring on the top, and the quadratic formula on the bottom. Learner analysis, they are 9th graders in Algebra 1. They range from about basic to advanced in skills. Generally, they all speak English, and they're all of Caucasian race. And about 10 of the approximate 100 students I have in Algebra 1 have an IEP or 504. More than 95% have access to a computer or internet at home. They also have access to technology at school with the smartboard, Wi-Fi, and laptops. And very important is that in order for students to graduate, they must be proficient on the Algebra 1 Keystone, and this topic, this unit, is very vital to doing well in that Keystone. Okay, this is the instructional analysis, or concept map. Again, I will show you this later on in the actual Edmodo. I have this link there as well for students to look at throughout the unit. The learning objectives, these are the specific learning objectives for the course, for the unit. 1, okay, the design stage is the next stage in the ADDIE phase. Design assessments, how will students be evaluated? Overall, students will be assessed in a final unit exam. This exam will include multiple choice, free response, and short essay questions. The course format will be delivered through Edmodo, online classroom, as well as traditional classroom, meaning guided notes and a smartboard. And then throughout the unit, they will be utilizing online activities such as the Socrative app, the USA Test Prep, all in which students can monitor their own learning and progress. What activities will be included throughout this lesson? Pre-instructional activities will include a pre-assessment quiz, as well as watching some motivational parabolas in real-life videos. Learner participation will include discussions via Edmodo, warm-ups on the smartboard are given to students, exit slips, and then small group or partner discussions through Think, Pair, Shares, and online discussions. Some follow-through activities will include Socrative app, the USA Test Prep, and clickers. Please also feel free to pause this at any time if you'd like to read this screen more thoroughly. Also, some follow-through activities continued are guided notes, computer games, a shoots and ladder game, review, and then an end-of-course survey. Okay. And then the final assessment, as I said before, will be this final exam, and then formative assessments will be warm-ups, exit slips, popsicle sticks for volunteers, think, pair, share, and observations. And then at the end of the course, students will answer a survey about what they liked and disliked about the course. The development phase is 3rd in the ADDIE. A sample day here, step 1 is to do a warm-up, then go over the warm-up and the homework, do our guided notes or whatever activity is used throughout the day, and then some type of exit slip. Materials needed throughout the unit is a pre-assessment quiz, guided notes, list of computer games and internet introduction videos, the Socrative app and practice, the USA Test Prep questions that I will utilize, the game that we will be playing in the unit, which is Shoots and Ladders, and then exit slip warm-ups, the study guide and the review game, and the end-of-course survey. Here's just a general lesson flow. It is broken up into 10 days, and then each day relates to the day in the guided notes. And then here it is, continued. Here are a list of the introduction videos. The formative assessment, I've also mentioned this a little bit before, are warm-ups, exit slips, popsicle sticks, think, pair, share, observations, a game, and then the final exam. Implementation phase is next. To prepare the learners, there are a bunch of prerequisite skills students will have to know before the unit that is listed below. And again, this is assessed with a non-graded quiz. Also, a technology survey will be given to list what technology students have at home. This will be allowing me to know what technology I can give for assignments outside of the classroom. Okay, students' procedures and materials. Procedures: when arriving to class, students know to get out their homework, complete any warm-up on the board, and then also when working in groups, students are to stay on task. The materials they are to bring every day are the following: guided notes, a scientific calculator, and a cell phone for some activities, but it must be off and away until I'm asked the students to use it. Here's the learning management software, which I will also explain on Edimodo. Arranging the learning space. Prepare the learning space. So preparing the classroom is done before. This, for example, includes: do I want rows? Do I want pairs? Do I want groups? Also, make sure the following technology tools are working pretty much every day: the projector, smartboard, document camera, and also have copies of all handouts and guided notes and extras needed for the unit. Daily preparation will be including writing the homework on the board, setting up desks before the lesson, having the smartboard ready to go, as well as having any other technology set up. The last phase is the evaluation phase. First are formative evaluations. This includes observations during independent practice, warm-ups and exit slips, collecting and grading student homework, whether it's based on completion or just seeing what problems they're getting continually wrong, and then an attitude survey. The attitude survey, which I will show you, is used throughout the lesson, and this may be given one-on-one or in small groups, and then it's given via Google Forms. Field trial improvements have been made over the course of the last 2 years. For instance, some things I have changed. I've started with some introductory videos that allow students to see some specific reasons as to why they'd want to use this unit to stay focused and motivated throughout the unit. Also, I've learned to give students ample amount of examples throughout the unit. Summative evaluations. First, I give a reaction survey. This is done through Google Forms at the end of the unit, and it's multiple choice and short answer. I also give the final learning exam, which is where each question relates to at least one objective. It's given in class and at the end of the unit, and then it's multiple choice and free response. Part of the evaluation phase is behavior. Students should understand the acceptable behavior that is required to complete each task. This may be completing a discussion or completing a think, pair, share, something as that. And then the results are discussed on things I consider as participation, warm-ups, exit slips, test scores, and homework. So now what I want to do is just take a few minutes and go to my Edmodo class and show you how all this is incorporated there. I've created a sample class here with a sample student just to show you how all the materials are utilized throughout the class, and specifically what are the materials that I have created. When a student logs in, this is his page. He'll click on our class. Below is the final assessment. I just wanted to take a second to show you the exam. It includes multiple choice, short answer, and it takes about the entire class period. Also, something else important to mention is that each question is designed to meet one of the objectives throughout the unit. So each question really does have a purpose. So again, please feel free to pause this or slow it down. Okay, so here's the test again. Like I had said, some multiple choice, some free response, and all relating to objectives in the course. I will just show you a couple other things on here. If you click on the folder section, these folders are utilized throughout the unit. The first folder students will utilize is the pre-instructional folder. Something they will find here are a couple of surveys, one being the technology survey. I give this to students before the unit to find out what internet access they have at home, what technologies are available to them. This is something that I do give students at the beginning of the year, but I did want to show this to you now. Another survey students will take before the unit is started is a pre-assessment survey. It looks like this. It's very short, just 5 questions. Each question does have its reason though, and it does show me what skills they have before the unit begins. Some other things here. Here are a list of the motivation videos that students can go back and look at throughout the lesson, throughout the units. And then, as I explained in the Prezi, here's my Poplet for my concept map. And I'll just zoom in a little bit here. I actually do have students do an assignment with this, and I'll show you in a second what that looks like. And I like keeping it there. I think it's good for them to be able to go back to throughout the entire unit to kind of connect everything, see how everything's related. Here in the middle, you'll see discussions. The first discussion is to look at that concept map and then answer a couple of things about it before the unit started. Another folder that I utilize a lot throughout here is the just follow-through activities. This includes notes and games, anything we do throughout the unit. Let me just quickly show you the guided notes. Okay, here are the guided notes. I won't show you all of them, but again, as I said in the Prezi, each day relates to a couple of the pages in the guided notes. I like to give this to them at the beginning of the unit just so they can see that everything's related. Also, as they work further into the unit, each lesson builds upon itself so they can work backwards. If they get stuck on something, they can go back to something we've previously learned. So that's the guided notes. Some computer games are also listed here, as well as a study guide. Okay, and then the last folder I'll look at with you is the survey and discussions folder. The one-on-one and small group survey, this is given anytime the lesson is over. Given on one-on-one or small group, very quick, 8 questions. I like for these to be response questions so they can provide as much feedback as they'd like rather than, was this helpful to you, yes or no. Something a little bit more detailed. Okay, and then the last survey, this is the reaction or attitude survey given at the end just to kind of get me to understand, were the objectives clear to the student? Did the assignments fit in overall? How was the use of technology? How was my instruction? And then I do give a few, again, open-ended questions to talk about any of the questions they had above that they'd like to and explain a little bit more with. Okay, that's about it for the Edmodo. Again, if I just go back to the home page, posts, again, this is where I can also post homework and discussions that students can follow along with. So that is my ADDIE presentation, and I'd hope that you found it very insightful. I appreciate any feedback that you